to say that the UK is living in dark times is pretty much an understatement. I mean, you across the pond know our laws are not exactly great. I know you have your problems too. I'm not taking that away from you. But we essentially have eroded every freedom we've ever been given. If you let me put it this way. It was quite interesting actually. Someone said that before it was legal for people to vote, the people had more freedom. A simple analogy is once you make a law to say you can or cannot do something, regardless what it is, doesn't matter if it's the positive or the negative, that curtails your freedom. Because if it says you can't do something, well, then you can't do it. That's containing the freedom. If you say you can do it, it will have stipulations in it. So if you go outside of those stipulations, that's an erosion of freedom. Laws don't create freedom. Laws create what they would call security. Anyway, what this is about is a case that has been going for so long, and I'm so happy for this guy to get out. So happy. Andrew Malkinson, miscarriages of justice body to review handling a wrongful rap conviction. Can't say that on YouTube. Okay. Little background on this. He's essentially a guy who was accused of doing that crime. He was sent down for it on pretty much no evidence. As early as 2007, they had physical evidence that proved he did not do the crime. They kept him in. Under the law as it was then, up until very recently in the last few months, this is the only thing that's positive to come out of this, is if you appeal and you lose your appeal, they add years to your sentence. They punish you for appealing your crime. Here's the kicker. Once it was proved he was not the guy, essentially, and he was released, they tried to charge him. They tried to take the compensation he got. He basically got like £1 million something compensation. I don't know what the exact number is. But they tried to take half of it away, essentially, saying that for the privilege of staying in his cell and getting his food there. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I'm laughing, not in a very humorous way, just at the situation. The Criminal Cases Review Commission says Andrew Malkinson's 17 years prison term was plainly wrong, and it was long recognised that a review of the case is important. I love British articles. Do you know why? Unlike American ones and Canadian ones and all sorts of other ones in the Western world, who will usually do a scare thing or try to shock someone in these sorts of cases. What we do is we try to present it in a calm, gentle way. So let me read it again so you get what I'm saying. The Criminal Cases Review Commission says Andrew Malkinson's 17-year prison term was plainly wrong, and it has long recognised that a review of the case is important. Do you see what I'm saying? Trying to soften the blow while stating something that's horrific. And this is the man, him now. Yeah, this is his campaign, hashtag innocent, and not the only one. Go and support that. That is incredibly important right now. I'll quickly go through this. The body that investigates potential miscarriages of justice is to review the case of Andrew Malkinson, who spent 17 years in prison for a rap he did not commit. Mr. Malkinson appealed twice. Twice he appealed and had time added to his sentence each time to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, but his approaches were turned down. The 57-year-old's conviction was eventually overturned by the Court of Appeal last month. His prison term was plainly wrong. See what I mean? Oh yes, it was plainly wrong. This is CCRC said. And while I had long recognised that a review of the case was important, it reminds me of the stereotype of redcoats, like Americans would have during the Revolution. But that process could not begin until the Court of Appeal had made its judgment, it added. A spokesman said that the Commission would be as open as we can be within our statutory constraints about lessons to be learned. That phrase again! Lessons to be learned. We've had that quite recently with the lesbian grandmother police officer and the West Yorkshire Police saying, lessons will be learned. We're sorry. You have to laugh. If you don't laugh, you will cry. It is as simple as that. He added, we recognise that Mr. Malcolmson has had a very long journey to clear his name, and it is plainly wrong that he spent 17 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. That's essentially, if you were going by the average lifespan, a quarter of his life. It's a long journey, apparently. Okay, police. Do you see why I don't respect police? UK police. I don't know about US, haven't encountered them very well. I don't respect UK police. I never will now. I dare you to change my mind. We have already been in touch with Greater Manchester Police and with the Crown Prosecution Service, who are absolute the worst organisation on earth, to offer our assistance in any of their inquiries. Case files obtained by Mr. Malkinson and seen by Sky News show prosecutors knew in 2007 that forensic testing had identified a searchable male DNA profile on the rap victim's top that did not match his. God, oh. But he's not the only one, and that's part of his campaign now. And it is specifically men, might I add, that are getting targeted because believe all women. Believe all women. And this is what you get with believing all women. Believe them when you got evidence. Do not believe them just for the sake of it. The documents showed DNA in saliva from an unidentified male was found on the victim's vest near a bite wound her attacker inflicted. Well, right there. Teeth marks are a form of ID. Surely they would have matched if it was him. Blimey. A CPS caseworker said if it is assumed that the saliva came from the offender, then it does not derive from Malkinson. This is surprising because the area of clothing that the saliva was recovered from was crime specific. This is just all words. It's honest to God, it's just bulking out your report. Essentially. Lord Edward Garnier, wow, KC, a former Solicitor General, has called for a public inquiry into the handling of the case. Well, yeah, he's probably getting his 5 minutes here, 15 minutes rather, saying it needs to report within 6 months and be led by someone of considerable stature and independence. Considerable stature. I know what you're trying to say there, I get it, but it still sounds like we're gonna make it brush under the carpet. That's how it sounds to me. I'm probably wrong, but you know. As CPS spokesperson said previously, it is clear Mr. Malkinson was wrongly convicted of his crime. We share the deep regret that this happened. Yeah, I'm sure you do after he's been released. Evidence of a new DNA profile found on the victim's clothing in 2007 was not ignored. Excuse me? It was disclosed to the defense team representing Mr. Malkinson for their consideration. What do you mean for their consideration? If you get a new DNA profile and it conflicts with your established case, then that's an automatic qualification for release, or at least appeal. It is over here, I know that. In addition, searches of the DNA databases were conducted to identify any other possible suspects. At that time, there were no matches and therefore no further investigation could be carried out. Wait a minute. There were no other matches, but he didn't match. Well, that means that doesn't mean anything. Just because no other matches came up doesn't mean it was him because he's not a match. God. I'm staggered by our justice system. It's the injustice system. It's the Injustice League, as it were. if you're thinking about all these people that are coming into the UK, I'm talking about the illegals, why are you doing it? This will happen to you if you're a man. You don't want to be here. Trust me. Anyway, this is just a quick one. I will enclose the links to his campaign as well as this article in the description of the video. If you liked it, please like the video as well. Comment what you think. Please tell me what you think about what's going on at the moment. We've got so many cases that are supposedly not correct, should we say. I'll phrase it that way. Not correct. Do you think justice is dead? Do you think it ever existed? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video very soon.